His weakness, we have been told ad nauseum by the mainstream media and by the anti-Trump right, is that he's reckless, he's irresponsible, he doesn't know anything about government, he doesn't understand the complexity of our trade relationship with China. And what we're seeing now is, whether that is true or not, that is what is bringing China back to the negotiating table, because China was convinced that they could pressure President Trump through their entrance into the World Trade Organization, through their massive economy, through the massive hold that they have over our manufacturing, that they could force Trump to blink and back down, especially as Trump faces a 2020 election year, and he just won't do it. We can't know for sure whether Trump is crazy or whether he's only pretending to be crazy. And I certainly think he's only pretending to be crazy. I think he's a very sharp and capable guy. But that China wasn't willing to take that bet, and they came back to the negotiating table. This has been a problem 19 years in the making, 18 years in the making, since we let China into the WTO. And no president of either party has wanted to deal with it. Trump has taken it on. He's taken it on during an election year, which is quite perilous for him. And I think he's done it with enough grit and enough performed craziness that it just might work.
So President Trump himself calls what you call his performed craziness, he calls it whiplash negotiations. He says these are his trademarks. This is his quote. He said, "It's the way I negotiate. It's done very well for me over the years, and it's doing even better for the country." Do you want to know what I think the kicker was? I think the Chinese expected this tit-for-tat tariff game. What I don't think the Chinese expected President Trump to threaten to sever all U.S. commerce with China or to invoke that law from 1977, the Emergency Economic Powers Act. And I think they were unsure that whether or not he would actually do it. Because one of the things about President Trump is when he makes a threat, he actually will follow through on it, even if the political class tells him not to. And the Chinese said, "Oh, wow, we didn't expect this. We can't risk him going through with it."
In order for a negotiation to work, he has to be able to make a credible threat. And China perceived the threat here to be credible. No other president could have done this. None of the other candidates in 2016, none of Donald Trump's predecessors, except perhaps Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was another one who was viewed as a cowboy. He was viewed as a little dumber than his mark. He was viewed as crazy. And he brought the Soviet Union to the negotiating table. Ultimately, he brought the Soviet Union to collapse. I think we're seeing a similar style here. This is the advantage. And while everyone is busy criticizing President Trump for all the tweets and talking about Mika Brzezinski's face and whatever, I think now we need to celebrate that very same quality, that unpredictability has brought China finally to the negotiating table after years and years of stealing our property, stealing our jobs, not just through the regular flow of trade, but stealing millions of jobs by illegally devaluing their currency, stealing our secrets, spying on us, forcing us into illegal taxes according to the WTO. I mean, they have truly ripped us off for a long time. Even Chuck Schumer and the Democrats, some of the Democrats admit it. Trump has managed to do what other presidents have not managed to do. Let's hope that he can finish the job.